Hello, my bee friends. Let's see what's going on with you. So the honeybee, of course, is about community, about working together, but it is also about democracy. There's even a book called Honeybee Democracy you might want to look into, especially if you have been led to believe that that there should be only one person in charge. Honeybees have a deceptively hierarchical appearance to their organization, but it doesn't really work like the queen is in charge of everything. Anyway, bee, earnest, hardworking, democratic. The bee personality is a delight to be around, especially when there's a team project on the horizon. Bees love to work steadily and thoughtfully until the final task is complete. They are sensitive creatures, aware of many subtleties at once. Since they're artists at heart, they usually add creative details to the overall vision. For the most part, they have bustling, joyous personalities, until they're too tired from all the work. Then they gripe, and then sting. When in balance, content, active, vibrant. When out of balance, overworked and annoyed. To bring into balance, a mini vacation. Fun. I just took a mini vacation. All right. Now then, we have your tea leaf cards here. And you got 7 today. So for your 7th card, I wasn't sure whether I should go with this one, good luck, or love. These were the last 2 out. Anyway, you will know better than I. These cards are here to help you determine whether or not this is your reading, so they should in some form or fashion be familiar to you. We have bridge, successfully overcoming a problem, and to me it is always about communication as well. Then we have hat, you will be playing a different role. So that's a significant change for you, I'm sure. Grasshopper, situations in the balance that require careful handling and perhaps a lot of hard work and creativity. Shield, you need to defend yourself. Leg, stepping into a new experience. And then, of course, love. That may be your new experience, which may be a bit overwhelming if you've never been in this kind of situation. All right. Why are you here? You are confused. Well, okay. What are you confused about? Something very inspiring, but it's a project that requires, I want to say careful handling, perhaps because of grasshopper. So the Two of Wands is about planning. It can be strategizing. It can be maybe a little too much planning and not enough doing. Although it is not in reverse, and the cards around it do not badly aspect it. So, we do have 8 of Wands, suggesting that there will be some rapid progress. I think you are spending a great deal of time mulling over whatever it is that has you confused and trying to figure out a plan, what to do about it, which, you know, is a very rational thing to do. Oh, now we have the Queen of Cups. Perhaps you've been failing to take into account emotion and the importance of emotional intelligence. So our emotions are sources of information and can help us to make decisions. They are very important in that regard. as has been proven by people who suffered brain damage to the emotion processing centers of their brain, because they become unable to make good decisions when they are unable to take into account their emotions. So here we have the Queen of Swords. So as I mentioned, there's this emotional intelligence versus the very rational, very analytical, truth-seeking, truth-speaking approach. Perhaps these are both aspects of your personality that you are trying to balance or integrate. Oh my gosh, now you have the Queen of Wands. Well, you're just working on everything, aren't you? Now we have the King of Wands. You have been doing a lot of work. Let's find out more about this King of Wands. The Emperor. All right. And the Empress. Holy crap. Oh, this is quite the reading. However, the Empress is in reverse. The Empress has not yet learned to be at peace with the phases of nature, of life, cycles of life, rhythms of life. So the Emperor is about consistency, about being able to flow, yes, but they are disciplined. They have their own internal structure, because so the structure is a yin quality. In order for the Emperor to be this upright Emperor, this to lead by example, to inspire others, they have to have the quality of structure, internal structure for themselves. In doing that, and in integrating, for example, soft strength, as well as I would say recognizing, understanding the other forms of the other approaches, I would say. They understand that soft strength is the true path of leadership. Now, the Empress in reverse suggests that they are not quite, this King of Wands, they are not quite comfortable with allowing and accepting the fundamental realities that can't be changed. There's still that desire to have things go the way they want them to go. There's probably an understanding that this is unreasonable and irrational, but it is not gone. So we have here the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Wands. So all that's missing is the Queen of Pentacles. You have no pentacles here at all, which is interesting. Perhaps your material life is well established, or at least you are content with it. Regardless, it is not a focus of yours right now. There has been a great deal of growth and development of many aspects of the personality. It is possible that Pentacles is next. There's definitely still some work here to be done to accept the realities of life and to dance with them instead of fighting them and trying to force them to be other than they are. One example, of course, is aging, our resistance to accepting the realities of growing older and valuing who we have become or are becoming in a society that overvalues youth. And let's be real, the reason they overvalue youth is because they're the ones spending the most money. We do live in a capitalist society, which unfortunately is inherently exploitative. Let's see what the universe has to say about all this. Crossroads. Your first card out. Multiple choice. Weighing the options. Making a decision. You do have free will and opportunity. What will you decide to do? Which direction will you take? You very much deserve a trophy for all your hard work. You have done an enormous amount of self-cultivation. You are not done. The Empress is still in reverse, so you have some acceptance of soft strength, perhaps, learning to value some of the other aspects of life, the ones that are frequently devalued by popular culture. It's interesting that they are not devalued, at least not these days, by the business community, which has done a lot of studying of what true leadership is. So, it looks like victory, success, a win for you would be a partnership. Now this, of course, seems to imply a romantic partnership, but I'm not going to go that far yet. We haven't had any cards about that. And as I say that, we get glass heart. Vulnerability, apologize, delicate, clear, transparency, a wonderful thing. Transparency, handle carefully, connection. But also strong emotions, driving force, unbridled, unleash the inner beast. So you had the grasshopper come up about the need to handle a situation carefully. But obviously there's a lot of strong emotion here, which is urging you to some, to not be as careful perhaps and considered as you should be. But we have heart, love, desire, joy, bliss, affection, kindness. Don't forget kindness. Kindness is extremely important. Kindness and caring are ways to really show that you care about somebody. And yet we have red flag. What is this about? Steady forward movement. Illumination. Ta-da! All right, let's see. Red flag, warning, complications. Proceed with caution. Something's off. Something's off. There is this sense of being on track to get to something really good, whether it's luxury or illumination, enlightenment, romance, a celebration. What is this red flag about? Listen to your inner guidance system. We have illumination again. Something is not yet illuminated, I think. It's not clear. It's not obvious. You need to gain some more clarity on something. There are complications that must be dealt with. Change of heart. Opportunities, many opportunities. Hidden knowledge. Again, multiple choices. In control. New beginnings. Transition. Perhaps you are not quite ready yet, which is honestly pretty clear since you have the Empress in reverse. If you had the Empress in the upright, then yes, by all means, full steam ahead. But Empress in reverse, there's still work to be done. And interestingly, we have fish, resources, finances, investments, prosperous money, income, commerce, multiply large quantity, lavish bodies of water. In other words, this is all about pentacles. Perhaps that's where your next work is, in the area of pentacles. Or maybe that's simply what you believe. What does the universe want to say, tell you? Huh. We have you or the person on your mind, and we have dog, supportive friend, helpful, playful, faithful companion. A friendship turns to love. This could be a sibling, could be a soulmate, a peer, a friend, perhaps somebody in a health profession, whether for humans or for animals and veterinarians. What else do we need to know about this person? Ah, fudge. I knew it. The Swan card tried to come out. I said, no, no, no. Well, it didn't fully come out, so I pulled it back in, just like I always do. So, you feel that you are part of a soul connection, whether you call it a divine partner, soulmate, the other self, a twin flame, my least favorite term. This is very much on your mind, and you want reconciliation. All right. I'm going to pull my Divine Abundance cards now. You seem to have a lot, you've been working through a lot of really wonderful stuff, particularly with all those queens out, but you didn't have the Empress in the upright. So what do we need, or what does my viewers need to know about the Empress in reverse? Expansiveness. Eternity is far more creative than the rigid, constrained, and exhausted ego. Still some ego work to be done. I am reminded, for some reason, that for those of you who have followed Jung at all, or looked into Jung at all, you may be aware that he identified two major aspects of the personality, the animus and the anima. For women, the anima was, according to his theory, primarily in control, and for men, the animus was primarily in control. Both exist in every person, and both must be integrated and fully developed for true health. However, Jung was always very afraid of his anima, and apparently never truly developed that aspect of himself as far as he could have. So, expansiveness. Eternity is far more creative than the rigid, constrained, and exhausted ego, which is very much the animus. This rigid, constrained, exhausted ego, that would be the animus. specifically overacting on the anima, I think. With expansiveness, they both can act and work together. And I believe that is where your focus should be at the moment. All right, that is your reading. I am wishing you all the best, as always. Till next time, you're doing extremely well.